Thank you, everybody, for joining us again for another episode of Forza Barca podcast, where we discuss FC Barcelona's matches, news, transfers, everything else. Today, we're going to be talking about the match versus Real Valladolid, where Barca won 4-0. Great match overall, and a lot of positive to take away from it. So let's dive right into it. You wanna set us up, Mew, with the lineup, so we can that way we'll have a little intro to get into it and to try to talk about the what was right in the lineup, what was wrong, and all that stuff.
Okay, let's hope that I get it right. I think Ter Stegen was in goal. We
Yeah,
had Alejandro Balde on the left side, and Eric Garcia, Kounde, and Araujo, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
Uh, and Araujo and Kounde switched the positions during the game, so I'm not too sure who was um, the right back and who was the center back. Not too sure about that, but that's something we will discuss later. And then we had Busquets, Pedri, and Gavi in the midfield, and Dembele, Rafinha, and Lewandowski up
yeah.
front.
That was the lineup. What did you think when you first saw the lineup?
Yeah, I think you sent me the lineup, if I'm not mistaken, or was it for
Mhm.
the last game? I'm not too sure. I said it was a good lineup because I didn't after the Athletic, the Real Sociedad game. I thought he's going to switch back to the old habits and have Jordi Alba again and not trusting Kunde because it's basically his first game. Um, um, Aside from the game versus Manchester City, the one where he played, where he got some minutes, but he surprised me. I was fairly positive about the lineup.
Uh,
What were your thoughts?
I didn't think that Kunde was gonna start, mainly because he only had two games, one game. No, was it? Yeah, two games. Was it one game? I can't remember. Before in the preseason, one game was versus no, two games, City and the Pumas game. So he had only two games under his belt for the preseason before the season started. So I was kind of thinking maybe he'll put him on like in the second half or something and not start him right off the
Mhm.
bat. I was wrong. He put him right in, and he fit right in. He played a really good match for as a debut in La Liga for us, so that was very exciting, and gets us a little bit comfortable to say that we have a strong defense at the moment. And seeing Eric just take it to another level is just makes us really excited that we can actually defend, and we have pace in the back. So if somebody slips, in the counter attack, we have fast paced defenders that can catch up and neutralize the threat that we have. So yeah, I mean the lineup, like I said, the Kunde was the only one that was like, that's interesting, but it worked out. He knew what he was doing. Xavi knew what he was doing. Kunde was ready for it. And it's just exciting as a Barca fan to see the lineup that we saw, everything that we wanted, right? Like we wanted the old guards that are not performing to take a step back and let the youngsters go in and do their thing, and that's what happened. So let's dive into it. So what did you think some of the positives that we that were obvious from the get go, from the beginning of the game?
So my main positives, of course, we know we have in Gavi and Pedri, we have some two top players when it comes to the midfield. So we know we can, if we do what is asked. probably from Xavi. I'm just going to assume that he's asking for high pressing, constantly running and trying to pressure the opponent. If that is what they are going in for, I think then we can control the midfield very well with Xavi, with Gavi and Pedri and Busquets. Well, the main positives I gotta say for me are is of course Lewandowski and our defense and Ter Stegen, because I'm fairly surprised by the performance of Ter Stegen. I'm more so happy over our defending. I mean, the the ability to have so much depth in the defensive line. I do think we need a right back more than we do need a left back. Mm, I mean, I would hate for Balde to get injured and we would be stuck with Jordi Alba at the left side. But the right side is clearly, uh, I will not say weaker because defensively it gets the job done, but we could be even more effective on the right side if we have someone who does make the same runs that Baldi does and Jordi Alba when he's not having diarrhea, which is 90% of the time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the problem lies right now is who would you bring as a right back? There were rumors about Foyth, but I think he's injured to the point where Brussels like, I'm not even sure if we should go for him right now. So it will be. I mean, we have 1 day left as of us recording this episode, so I doubt that we're gonna be getting a right back. I think we're gonna be relying on um, Kounde and Araujo and Sergio Roberto as far as that goes. If Dest leaves by tomorrow, um, and and it looks like Alonso will be coming, so I think we will have another left back. So it will be interesting to see how that will work. If it's going to be Balde and Alonso at the first and second choice, and then Alba as the third, or is it going to be more Balde first choice and then Alonso and Alba fighting it for the second place? It'll be interesting to see how the season develops as far as that goes for the left side. Um, but yeah, yeah, you're right. I think we need more right back than left, but I don't think there are a lot of options right now that are affordable for us to get unless we want to go the United way or Chelsea and splash 100 million on players that don't really deserve that much. Go back to the Barca
Mm.
era.
I mean, just not to dive too much into the topic, but I think I've read something about Thomas Meunier from Dortmund. I think that's a bad choice, honestly.
Yeah,
He's very slow. He's good defensively, but he adds absolutely nothing
going
that
forward.
someone like Araujo can do, and he's much faster. I mean, Meunier has that physicality, but he has no pace at all. There is no speed. There is nothing that he can add to that position that Araujo not already does. So
Yeah,
that would be the worst outcome. But I think that's actually the one that is most likely. Then we were linked to, if I recall correctly, his name was Hamare Traore from Stade Rennes, which would be an upgrade. I mean, he's not the youngest; he's 30 years old, and but he's fast. He's fast. He's agile. He's good with the ball. Great technique, and defensively not too shabby either. So that would be a better option. I mean, if there are Fourth would be a good option as well, and Thomas Meunier would be the worst option. That would
yeah.
be
I
to
think the
just
Munir one was just rumors. Even when there were other news or sources afterwards that said that that the pay wage wouldn't will won't work, and uh, it's just not feasible. So that I think they ruled that out like a couple days ago or something like that. So I don't think Munir would be coming. I think
Mm.
if anything, they were banking too much on fourth at this point. That they're probably not gonna get anybody, which I think is better than getting Munir. Relying on Kounde and Sergio Roberto if he steps it up, and Dest if he stays. I think that should be enough until next year where we can get somebody. And if we're getting somebody who's over 30, I think it defeats the purpose because by next year or 2 years from now, I'm going to have to look for another one that's younger anyway.
Well,
So
it depends on what state they are. I mean, at this day and age, 30 is not that old. You see a lot of players. I'm not going to, probably prime is around 74 to 78, 79.
right,
That's where players, most players hit their prime. But when we talk about players that constantly deliver, I mean, it's only so much you can see in highlight videos and stuff. But
yeah,
from what I've read, he's a stable guy. So it's not like he has fluctuations in his performance. And I think we need that more so than having maybe someone playing out of his position. And especially Kunde said that he would prefer to play as a center back than as a
yeah.
right back.
No, I agree. I mean, if it's somebody that's plays well, we can always get somebody younger, and then they can rotate with the experienced one. So that's kind of
Mm.
like what Balde is supposed to be doing with Alba, except Alba is just so shit that Balde is it's actually taking his spot. That one thing that I wanted to touch on was since you said Kunde does not want to play in the or does not want to, but he prefers to play as a center back. If you
Mm.
notice, even when he played as a right back, it's the formation changes depending on if we have the ball or we don't. Like if we have the ball, then it becomes three at the back. Um, but if we have if we're getting counterattack, then it becomes four. So it changes from him being as a right back to being right center back. So it's a very dynamic lineup than we've had before, which I think might be suitable for him in a way because he can still contribute and attack, but as a as a third person, and then once we get a counter attacked, he goes back and sets up the fourth line there as a right back. So, I mean, it might actually work if we don't get a right back. I think it'll depend on which team, and I think even Javi said that his well, and it's an obvious thing that every coach would say that his lineup and his tactics will change depending on who you play against. So if you play against somebody who sits back, you're gonna play something different. I think we noticed that how we played versus Real Sociedad is not the same how we played this last time against Valladolid. Like that, you can sense there's a difference in how we played. So I think that might work if we don't get a right back, but that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see how much we can keep it up before they start exploiting weaknesses in the back. Because as of right now, it looks like we're really solid defensively. So it's gonna be interesting to see how what happens in the next few matches.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's 3 games in. It's not telling much. We need to keep the horses in check before we
Yeah,
get too excited. But I think there's a lot to build up on. There's a lot of stuff that I like, a lot of choices that Xavi make that I truly like, especially taking, and it is a gamble, taking a gamble on Alejandro Balde. I mean, we saw what he can do in preseason, but that's preseason, so it's always a friendly game. It's not in
yeah,
competition.
yeah,
And right now the boy is doing great things, and I hope, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen that he will do some mistakes, but he's
yeah,
very young, and I think that it shouldn't impact. his ability to start in games, because with 18 it's eventually going to happen. And I think if he does his job in game, one or two mistakes, even if it costs us points, it's it's okay. We
That's how
need
you learn.
them. Yeah, we need players to evolve, and we need to stick to and believe in those players. I think the worst thing that can happen is somehow playing games with their mentality, and having them um, feeling like they are not worthy of being in the first team. And I think the most beautiful thing is that right now there was a time where we didn't have so many prospects, so many young prospects in our team. And right now it's looking very good, and I think that's the future we should build on. More players from La Masia, more young players that get accustomed to the Barca way of play.
Yeah, I mean, and I think as of right now, the majority of because last year we had a lot of young players, right? We relied a lot on the majority of the Barca B players, especially up front. We had a lot of people that are from OC that are playing for us. So I think this year is going to be a little bit different because I think we have pretty much a complete squad right now, right? We have
Mm.
the defense. We don't have to rely on anybody except Balde, which is going to be a first team this year, and Gavi basically is this is pretty much it as far as Flamasia from the Barca Athletic for this season. So it'd be interesting to see how we're going to implement more of our squad or our youth going for this year. Are we going to start uh, bringing more because we have some players that are showing some very exciting talents that are still young that we should be able to implement them for starting this season. So with the next couple of seasons it'll be the same way where Pedro and Gavi is now. So it'll be interesting which positions we're going to choose to do that with, right? Because I feel like as far as the midfield, we're pretty much set, except for Busquets' replacement, which I think Nico next year when he comes back, I think that'll be his spot. So, I guess what do you think? What do you think that that's going to happen as far as that goes? Do you think we're going to be bringing more wingers because we have Ilyas that's still in Barca Athletic for this year. We have Abde who's going to go on loan this season, but he's going to come back hopefully next season. Um,
Mm.
so what do you think? What do you think that's going to happen with that? Which position do you think we're going to focus on as far as that goes?
Hopefully, a right back. I think as far as, because when we talk about the defensive line, I think especially in that central defensive line, there is basically little to no chance from anybody from Barca Athletic to get a spot. I mean, you have Araujo, you have Kounde, you have Christians, still have Piqué, you have Eric Garcia. There is no way somebody's going to have a breakthrough unless it's really someone who has some performances that are out of this world. And still, I think it's going to be difficult to keep a starting spot in the lineup because you have so many great guys in the central defender position. But when it comes to our right and left backs, I think there is something that can be done. And if there are some talents, maybe they will have their chances in Copa del Rey. Who knows? Maybe Xavi is going to wait until Copa del Rey, because if we maintain our title aspirations um, down the line, I think Copa del Rey is not that important. I mean, because we can let a lot of young players play, and we have that depth to throw in some guys if things go south. So hopefully he's going to give some guys a chance, and I think it's good that someone like Azapte is going to going on loan where he can evolve and maybe have minutes. Of course, it depends on him and his performances, because
Yeah.
sometimes we see players leave and they become just substitutes or something like that. Hopefully, he can be someone that is a main player, and sustain and show basically to Barcelona that he's worth keeping.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, and which sucks because we did just sell. I think it was a left back that was really promising in La Masia just to Bayern Munich, which is like, what the fuck are we doing? So some talents do escape from us, but I'm hoping that we can get some young right and left backs that we can use,
Mm.
because I think we'll be those are the positions we'll be struggling, because for a long time we had problems with our center backs. We didn't have good center backs that were fast, that were very agile and very intelligent as far as on the ball and all that stuff. So I think now we have that. So it's gonna be a matter of you know getting those right and left back situated.
Um, I mean, let's talk about the game.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go
It's
back to the game.
Yeah, I think we dominated the game from the get go. We created a lot of chances. We're unfortunate in some situations. Dembele hit the post. Lewandowski hit the post.
Yeah,
It was very unfortunate. We could have finished the game in the first half, and I think if we talk about players that made an impact, of course, Pedregavi, Rafinha, Ter Stegen, Kounde, Araujo. Uh,
pretty much
there
the whole
was
team.
that one mistake from Busquets. I mean, Busquets
Yeah,
doing Busquets things.
yeah,
It's never going to change. I think
yeah. I mean, he's always had those mistakes.
it's just the way
Sometimes,
he
yeah,
plays. I mean, last game it was basically like Frankie De Jong is taking notice from his playbook. He always does those risky things.
yeah,
Um, it is what it is. I'm not going to be too mad about it, because at the end of the day, we controlled the game. We had that one situation where Kunde did absolutely fantastic work saving the ball,
yeah.
and I think that's very important for Ter Stegen to have that zero at the end of the day. And Ter Stegen is absolutely on top of his game the last three games. It is what it is. We need to talk about him actually delivering this time, especially in the start of the season. A lot of games can turn south if we get scored on, because the pressure just intensifies, and we have that pressure coming back from conceding. But this time, I think Ter Stegen, everything that he can save, he does, and
No,
his
yeah,
ball distribution is
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's and I think and it's gotta be his morals too, because well, not his morals, but his
mentality.
confidence, his
Mm,
mentality changed. Because if you think about it, if you don't have competent defense in front of you, you're not gonna be comfortable sitting in your goal. You know what I mean? You're always gonna feel like somebody's gonna fuck up, something's gonna happen. So they're gonna
mm,
do something. They're not gonna get this ball or whatever. You know what I mean? They're always gonna have that stress, or that they shouldn't have, when you should be focused just on goal instead of having what the defense is gonna be doing. So I think having a competent defense is really going to change how he plays this season. Because if you remember in 2015 when he came in, he had he had with Mascherano. Piqué was on top of his game. We had Jordi Alba who was on top of his game. With Alves was on top of his game. So we had a really strong defense at that point. So I think
mm.
having those having players like that really boosts your confidence. So I think this season we're gonna see the same. We're gonna see the old Stegen. We're gonna see the very confident on the ball, very quick to react and save us, Ter Stegen, which we really missed for the last few years. And I'm very happy about that. Like he took a lot of criticism last few years, rightfully so. He had a lot of mistakes, a lot of goals that went in that shouldn't have gone in. So seeing him doing better and actually performing to the potential and the talent that he has is very exciting as a Barca fan. And I think we should applaud him for that. And I hope he continues to show us his talents and how much he improved over the years. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. I think we should talk about the group of death,
Oh yeah, let's
Champions League group.
switch to the. Well, wrap it up. Good game. We have this season.
Yeah,
This week we have Sevilla, which would be even stronger. So that's something that we need to be mindful of. Uh,
on paper they are not, but I mean,
it's
on
Sevilla.
paper they
Yeah,
are, but
they have been playing well. Yeah,
uh,
but
they
it's you
have
never know.
problems on them. Of course,
Yeah,
you need to put on your A game.
right.
That's without a doubt. I mean, in the last couple of seasons and even in Copa del Rey, we had some great games against Sevilla,
Yeah,
and we need to respect them. They are a great team, and they are surely looking for a comeback because this season so far is not going too well for them, and beating Barcelona at home could be a turning point for them. So we
yeah,
need to be aware of that, and we need to put on our A game, or else we are going to have very difficult time with them. But I think the most promising thing is that we right now we know we are capable. It's just we are capable of taking on any team. So
yeah,
when it comes to just the the people in the squad, the players in the squad. So that's not the problem. It's if we can deliver it on the pitch. That's everything that needs
yeah.
to be, and of course the tactics need to be right. They need to be suited for the right opponent, and I think the ultimate test will be Bayern. I don't think that either Pilsen. Of course, there can be a tripping stone. We don't know that. You can slip up. It's, that's how football is. I don't think they should because if they draw or lose against Pilsen, it's basically game over.
Yeah,
And I think the real test will be against Bayern in Munich. It's going to be a very difficult game, and we need to at least show that we are able to compete, whether we win, draw, or lose. We
yeah,
need to
no,
show that we can compete. We need to put up a fight, and that
yeah,
should be Xavi's message. Don't let yourself get humiliated. Don't let yourself be distracted. Even if they score, you need to put up a fight. You need to show the fans and everybody in the world that Barcelona can compete. That
no.
should be the message.
I agree. And let's just to remind of the people that for some reason don't know which groups we are in. We're in Group C with Bayern, Inter Milan, and Victoria Pilsen.
Mhm.
So those are the three other teams that we have, and we're gonna start with Victoria Pilsen first, right? That's home, and Bayern away, and then Inter away at first, and then Inter home, and then Bayern home, right? And then
Yeah,
Pelton away.
exactly.
So that's something like yeah. So it's gonna be at least the first three games is like that. So it should be interesting to see because I think starting with Pelton is really good for us to
Yeah.
boost the confidence to get that the European mentality back in that we had and get the players set up for the match against Bayern, which will be that like you said that's going to be the pivotal moment for us. Where they're going to step up to the plate, show that we learned, show that we grew over the last year because we played against them not even a year ago. So
Mm,
it'll be a really real test for us to see if we how far we've came. They're a still strong team. They lost Lewandowski, but they still have a killer attack. They still have a great top notch squad. So we'll see how we fare with them. I don't expect us to destroy them. I don't even expect us to win when we were there. I think we will put up a good fight. If anything, if we tie, I'll be happy just because that's still gonna give us a real motivation, a real boost that we came along since from last year to this year, having those young squad that we have. I
mm,
think, but I'm pretty sure the players are gonna go for the win. They're gonna focus and have be pressing pretty much the whole time. Javi has the players this year to do that. Last year he didn't, especially at the 3-0 one. We played with the majority of the players were B team, Athletic B or Barca Athletic players. So this season he'll have a great squad on his for him to choose from. So I think he will put up a good fight. So let's say when you saw, I know that we were talking while the draw was happening. Uh,
mm.
what team did you actually want versus, you know what I mean? Which one did you try to avoid throughout the whole thing?
I mean, the mentality should be that we shouldn't avoid any team. This should be the mentality at the club and with the players. I think that should be the mentality. But of course, a weaker team would mean that we could boost our confidence and maybe um, going into the knockout rounds without worrying too much. But I think for a squad to have to put on, because there is no time for mistakes, and I said that.
Yeah,
If you remember, I said that there is this time and this season, especially this season, the season, the Champions League season could be over in this by November. So
yeah,
it's not something that I didn't have any wishes, but I knew we would get this. I mean, it was inevitable because we were in the second pot, so we would have a strong opponent. I mean, if we had luck, maybe we would get Ajax or whoever was in the Eintracht Frankfurt or somebody like that. I know people will say, well, they beat us, but let's be
not the same
honest, if
team.
it's
Yeah,
not the same team, and even
yeah,
even then, of course, they played well and had those magical moments, but come on.
yeah.
We would have a more competitive squad and possibly win those games. But whatever the case may be, I think it's good that we need to be on point from the get go. I think that maybe even if things go south in the Champions League, they will try even more in the league.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's
I think we're gonna have a better season, especially as far as the matches, how we play the matches. I think it's going to be very entertaining. I think we have the squad to for every game to be a very entertaining match, either against a small team or a big team. I think we'll still see a lot of exciting moments throughout the whole season. It's going to be a roller coaster for sure. So
mm,
buckle up, everybody. Buckle the fuck up. Let's see. What do you? Let's take a look at this. Let's set us up where, so this is the last match of the group stage is done. Where do you see us as far as the placement for our group?
that's difficult to say. Honestly, that's very difficult to say. I think if we can win our first game and draw against Bayern and win one of the two games against Milan, I think we are going to go through because having that last game against Pilsen helps because
Yeah,
Bayern and Inter, if we can keep up the competition with the points and being close to both, then we have the best chances because Bayern and Inter are going to take points from each other either way
right.
when it's done. So I think the even more crucial than Bayern, if we are not able to beat them or to take some points away from them, even more important are the games against Inter Milan, Milano. I think that's even more important to win those.
Yeah, I mean, historically, over the last 10 years, every time we played against Inter, we pretty much dominated every time we played against them. But
Yeah, well, we had the best player in the
we
world.
had the
It's
best
it's
play.
a different time.
Yeah, that's what that was going to be my point. So for the last 10 years, we were dominated every time we played against them. But this is different. We don't have Messi with us, so this is going to be a real test playing against them again when they are, even though they're not setting the world on fire, they're still a really really good squad. They play
Mm,
really good football. So we'll see how we're gonna fare against them. And I mean, I'm optimistic. I think we're still going to win, but it's still going to be very, very difficult in comparison over the last few times we played against them. Um, okay, so do you have anything you want to add about the Champions League or the match itself?
no, I mean we will talk about it coming Sunday. I
Mhm.
think when it gets closer, and then after the game against Pilsen, we need to buckle up for Bayern. It's going to be it's going to be some really good podcasts. That's for sure. Either way.
Yeah. Well, it's good because we have Sevilla we can react to on
Mm,
Saturday and post it to the people on over the week, and we'll have Bayern. I mean Champions League next week, so we'll be
mm,
able to react to that and talk about that. Football season is back. That's for
yep,
sure. We'll be knee deep in it, talking about it, and reacting to it, and having conversations about the team and how we're doing. Um, I
exactly.
think it should be a pretty short episode today.
Yeah, well,
uh,
it's Valladolid. We are not going to go in
yeah,
too deep into it. It was a good game. It's important to score goals, to have that confidence, and like we said, there are a lot of positive things, but we need to keep it real. It's Valladolid. We had a good game, and a lot of exciting performances, and hopefully we can continue with that.
that's really well put, and and I think over the next few matches we'll have more to say, more flaws will start showing, and we'll be talking about them and how we can fix them. So
Hopefully not. Hopefully not, because it's
I mean,
going into the
the
right.
flaws will show, but hopefully they're not enough where we are struggling. You know what I mean? And every team has flaw. If you watch any
Yeah, of
match,
course, of course.
yeah,
We are going to let chances happen. That's football.
yeah,
Mistakes happen, and sometimes the opponent is just that small inch faster, that small inch more precise, and then you will concede goals. That's how football is. But
yeah,
hopefully, it's not too drastic from our performances so far. I mean, the first game was dreadful, but I think against Sociedad and Valladolid, we showed a lot of heart, a lot of compassion. Uh, Sociedad, especially in the second half, the first half wasn't that good. And against Valladolid, I think we made a good game, 90 minutes. We had that short period of time where they had their chances, but we were 3-0 up. It is what it is.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Yeah, that's
too.
not naturally the rhythm will
Yeah,
drop, and
yeah.
yeah. But
And you
yeah,
get tired, of course. It's
of
it's
course,
the
yeah,
it's the start of the season, and I think if we can implement like the stuff that Xavi says is I think very important because he said that he wants two players competing on each
yeah,
position and each one being of the same quality. And I think if that is true, then we shouldn't worry too much because, especially in the league, you can have those five substitutions and change the course of the game if someone is not performing. The
right,
problem in the last few years was that the whole team didn't perform. We had the mentality was so damaged that the smallest of teams could just stay back, counter us, and we had nothing to add to the game. We
yeah,
were just passing the ball around without any threat to their defensive lines. And I think this time around, if you play that sort of style against Barcelona, you are going to get scored on because we have that physicality. Although I still think they should most definitely work on those corners and on those set pieces because those are chances that should be way more dangerous. Even if they are not going in, they should be way more dangerous. We cannot have like 20 corners and just maybe one being dangerous. I think that one from Eric Garcia was the most dangerous one. All of the others were basically just uh, shit. Just to be honest, all those corners. I think Dembele and Rafinha should train better and sort out some maneuvers and maybe even passing the ball. I think they did way better when they passed the ball
and then cross it.
and crossed the ball in.
Yeah, and I think even Xavi in the press conference afterwards, he said that we definitely should be doing better as far as our free kicks go. Um, and it's not something that's new to us. We were never really good at set pieces to begin with.
I mean,
But
free kicks, we have Messi that
yeah,
was
right,
basically
right,
just like a penalty, if you are being honest. So
yeah,
it was something else. Right now, we are just not threatening when it
yeah.
comes
No,
to
I meant like for long ones for
yeah,
headers, and we
of
were
course,
never good at that. So, but we have the players that are really good in the air. We have Lewandowski, we have Kounde, who's really good in the air. Araujo is really good in the air. Um,
Christensen.
if Christensen is playing is good in the air, yeah, we have a lot of players that are good in the air. So we should be taking advantage of that and actually putting the
Mm,
ball there for them to compete for and try to score. So hopefully we see that. That's probably one of the weaknesses that we have is we don't take advantage of set pieces the way we should be.
yeah.
So that's something that we'll see if that gets fixed within the next few weeks.
And
Um,
especially if you're dominating games like that,
right.
you can put the game to bed in the first half with
Yeah.
the domination that you have. I mean, it's not going to play out like that every time. You will have opponents severe and possibly even Pilsen. We don't know. I've never watched a game from them, so
Yeah.
I'm not able to say how good they are, how cheeky they are. Maybe they are going to put up a great fight. They will. They will because I mean, they are playing against one of the biggest clubs in the world,
Right.
and you will always give your best when it comes to that. So, but at the end of the day, I think our quality will prevail. That's what I'm thinking, or at least hoping, and we will see. The next few games are very interesting. The next two games are
Yeah.
going to show a little bit of the way that we are going, we are heading into.
Yeah. That's for sure. Well, we shall see, my friends. We shall see what happens. Um, so let's wrap it up real quick. So thank you everyone for watching, for listening. Join us on YouTube, like and subscribe there. Comment and have conversations there with us if you want. You can listen on Spotify and the majority of the podcast applications. Um, yeah, and just root for the team and let's get this going. Let's win some trophies this year. And
Hopefully.
yeah. So, Anthony, you want to add before we wrap it up?
Just as much negativity that I'm spreading. I honestly love this team. I love this club, and I hope for us to come back even stronger. And I think the right things were done as far as bringing players in, and
Yeah,
hopefully Xavi will take advantage of that, and the players represent the crest how it should be
yeah, that's
and how it deserves.
that's the hope. Yeah, that's the hope. So yeah, thank you everyone for listening and watching. We'll catch you again next week when we react to and talk about the match versus Sevilla. Hopefully we get the W there so we can go strong into the Champions League. So thank you so much. Visca Barca. Peace.